In the part 2 of setting up two-tier architecture, we'll look at how we can make sure that DB server can access internet and not vice versa. So let's look at the problem in hand. How do I connect my DB server for internet, maybe for patching or for downloading any specific files? Let us think if I'm sitting at home on my PC where my internal IP address or my private IP address is 192.168.0.150. With this IP address, I will not be able to communicate to the outside world. So I would need my to connect my system pointing to my router, my broadband router, which will be connected to my ISP and will be performing the translation of my PC IP to a public IP, so that I can connect to internet and will be able to access various sites. So in here, there are, for me to be able to access internet, there are three important things. First is the default route. So on my system, if I need to reach to any of the web servers outside on the internet, I need to have a route pointed to my router, the default route. I need to have a router in my network. I need to have a public IP which is provided by the ISP to my router. Unless you have all these three, I will not be able to connect to internet. But the next question is, can somebody else from internet connect to the same IP, same public IP address, and will be allowed to connect to my PC? The answer is no. By default, it will not. And this is the exact same picture what we are trying to implement with respect to our DB server. So let us have a look at the solution. In here, we are going to use NAT gateway. So let's understand some of the basic points of NAT gateway. It is mainly used for situations wherein you have a private subnet where you have hosted a specific VM, and that VM you want to connect to internet or maybe connect to any other AWS services. But at the same time, you do not want anybody from the outside network to be able to connect directly to your private instance. And NAT gateway is a chargeable service. It is not supported for IP version 6 traffic. In order to create a NAT gateway, we must have the public subnet and have to attach this NAT gateway in our public subnet. We must have elastic IP address, which must be associated with our NAT gateway. Think of something this similar to as your home network, wherein if your router does not have a public IP address, it will not be able to perform the translation. And then you also must have a route table associated with your private subnets, and that will be pointing all your internet bound traffic towards the NAT gateway. So this is the architecture that we have built so far. So in this case, I want the DB server to be able to access the internet. So I'm going to create a NAT gateway. I'm going to request for an elastic IP. The elastic IP is like a fixed IP address from the AWS pool that you can attach to your VMs. So in my case, I'm attaching this to my NAT gateway. And then I'm going to create a private route table, which will be attached with my private subnet, which is my DB subnet. And in this route table, I'm going to add a default route pointing to my NAT gateway. So any traffic from my DB server will be going to my NAT gateway, and from NAT gateway, it will be performing a translation so that my DB server IP address, private IP address, gets translated to the public IP address, which is the elastic IP address attached to my NAT gateway. Now that we have got a basic idea of what we are trying to implement, let's jump into the code. The rest of the code remains same, so we'll just look at the part which we have done additional. So in order to create this deployment, we have to request for an elastic IP address from AWS. So in order to do that, we are going to use this as the resource type, AWS underscore EIP, elastic IP address. And then this is the name that I've given with respect to my Terraform module. And then whenever this EIP that you are requesting, I need to make sure that it is created or requested only after the internet gateway, because at the end, the NAT gateway also sends the traffic to your internet gateway. So internet gateway is a must. Otherwise, there is no point of requesting for the elastic IP address. And then I'm going to create a NAT gateway. So for creating a NAT gateway, the resource type is AWS underscore NAT underscore gateway. This is a local name with respect to Terraform. And whenever a NAT gateway is created, it is provided a specific IP address or the ID that is referred to as allocation ID. So I'm using it as AWS underscore EIP dot EIP dot ID. And then the subnet ID. Subnet ID is, I want to associate this specific to my app subnet, which is my public subnet. So AWS underscore subnet. This is the type. This is the name of my specific subnet, and then dot ID. And this I'm going to create based on if the elastic IP is already requested. So that's why I've used depends on EIP. Then I'm going to create a private route table. This is the resource type, the name, and this private route table has to be associated with a VPC. So VPC ID, I will come to know only once it is created. So in order to associate that, I'm using this again, the same trick, the resource type, name, dot ID. And with this route table, I have to add a default route. So I'm adding a route with this route block. Any IP address, I want to send it to my NAT gateway. So the NAT gateway has a specific IP ID address. So NAT gateway ID is AWS underscore NAT underscore gateway dot the name of, or the specific name which is local to my Terraform, NAT underscore gateway, and dot ID. And then I'm going to give it this specific private route table a name as private route table, for which I'm using tags. Now, once this is created, I have to associate this specific private route table with my database server. So subnet. So I'm using the type as AWS route table association. This is the local name, and the subnet ID I have called it as the resource type, my DB subnet dot ID, the route table ID after it is created. So this is the type. Then the name, private underscore RT is the name which we have used here, private underscore RT, and dot ID. And at the end, then this is just for copying the key for me to be able to log into the DB instance, and then launching for testing the website. So let's go ahead with testing our code. So we'll start with Terraform init to initialize. It is successfully initialized. Now I will validate my code, Terraform validate, just to make sure that there are no syntax errors. My configuration is valid. Now I'm going to plan, say test dot out. Now I'm going to implement this plan. So Terraform apply test.out. Now my key is being generated. It is being copied to the local file. Subnets are being created. Internet gateway, route table association. The EIP is being requested. NAT gateway is being created. The instances are being launched. After a while, we'll see the result. The final result is all 20 resources have been added. Now let's go and have a look at our in AWS console. I can see if I go to EC2, I can see two running instances, my web server and my DB server. Let's see for my web server. I'm able to access the website. Let us check my DB server. DB server has no public IP address. It got a private IP address as 10.0.26. So we'll try to connect to this. Before to that, let me also show you. If I go to VPC, the additional things that we have created, where can we see it? So if we go to Elastic IPs, we'll see public IP address being requested from the AWS pool, IP pool, and this is associated with our network interface, and then the NAT gateway. If we click on, either you can click there directly, or you can open it from here, the NAT gateways. We can see this specific NAT gateway is available, and this is the public IP address which is associated with our NAT gateway. We can also see the route tables. We have one route table associated with my, this is my public subnet, and the second route table, I can see this is associated with my DB subnet. So now let's go ahead and try to log into our DB server. Let's copy the IP address first. So SSH space -i, then the key name and username. An IP address. So now I'm connected to my web server instance. I should see the key here. My key is present here. Let me change the mode. Web key. Now I can see it is read only. Then let's check. Let us try to log into our DB server. The DB server IP address is 10.0.26. So let me try to log in. So now I'm connected to my DB server, and from here, if I try to check my internet reachability now, this time, I'm successfully able to connect to internet. So I can do patch management, I can do any file transfers if I need to get something from internet. So this way we can connect our instances which are in private subnet to the outside world, but at the same time we can make sure that anyone who is in internet will not be able to access our private instances. I hope you have found this informative, and thank you for watching.